TV, where we inspire and inform you endlessly, with knowledge to guide, uplift and grow. Thank you for joining, it's a journey, let's go. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. From wisdom to insight, each video's a gift, helping you rise, giving your spirit a lift. So hit that subscribe, stay tuned to see all the great things on Dr. Bummy Able TV. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. Dr. Bummy Able TV here for you. Inspire, educate, inform. That's what we do. Thanks for being part of this growing family. Let's keep shining together in unity.
Hello, and hello again. It is nice to see you joining. Welcome to Women's Health 101. Every woman would need to know this. I am Bumi Abel, and I will be your moderator and host for this important discussion. Today, we're diving into the fundamentals of women's health, covering the key topics that every woman, regardless of your age or background, should understand and take charge of their well-being, from preventive care, hormonal health, mental wellness, lifestyle choices, family, you can name it. We'll explore practical, evidence-based information that empowers you to make informed decisions. Let's get started. Is your daughter here? Is your mother here? Is your wife, your sister, your who else? Come on, tell me. Your friend, are they here to listen? Please call every woman. If you're a man here, hey, you're going to be equipping yourself with information to pass on to that lady in your life. So please, let's come on and learn what every woman needs to know. We have our guest. She is a nurse, specialist nurse in fertility and women's health, and she's going to be telling us just the way it is. So please, if there's anyone you know would need this information, just call them right in and let us, juggle our brains together and let us ask those questions. That's very important, because I know so many of us here would not want to take a queue or wait for 2 weeks to be able to ask a GP a little question about maybe mammogram or smear test or whatever it is, So we are blessed to have someone who is qualified to teach us about it. So please go and call them right in. And this is where I welcome Mrs. Nneka Ugu. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Bumi, for having me. I'm so excited to be with my fellow women or others that could pass information to women regarding their health. It's really a pleasure to be here. It's what I enjoy doing. So I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So we'll go right into it. Thank you to those viewers who are there watching. Please write your questions. That is all we are here to do. Interactive, session. Write the questions. I know you've been to so many women conferences and all that, but this is the time to ask those questions you've been longing to ask. Please ask those questions, and she'll be here to answer them. So I'll go right into it. And my first question to you is, what are the most common health issues affecting women today?
Thank you so much for that question. The most common issues affecting women include reproductive health concerns or problems. Like you must have heard about endometriosis, adenomyosis, uterine fibroids, or myomas. And other issues include hormonal issues that could affect their fertility as well, premenstrual syndrome, and other changes that happen in a woman's cycle. Monthly menstrual cycle. And we have cardiovascular health issues, which is becoming more common in women. That is heart problems and problems with the blood vessels. And also, we have reproductive or gynecological cancers, which includes breast cancer, um, cancer of the cervix, of the endometrium, and all of that. And then we have mental health issues that affect women, and the list continues. They are really, because of the way a woman is built up, she has a lot of, her body is has a lot of things going on. She exposes her to a lot of problems, a lot of health problems. So, which we'll be looking into shortly. But these are the common problems that I hear women that come up, in the clinic, that has to do with women. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Now we will look at the next question. Please, viewers, write your questions. We can see women, we are fearfully and wonderfully made, so much that there's so much complexity. It's not straightforward. It's so complex. We are just, you can imagine a complex machine. That is who we are. And God has created us that way. And we need to be aware of all of these common health issues affecting women. Let's not be ignorant of them. Now, the next question to you is what are, no, yeah, oh, that's the second question. Sorry. Let me go straight right into my list. Yes. How does women's health differ from men's health?
Thank you.
How does women's health differ?
Yeah, one may be wondering why are this from answering question one, you would have seen that there are a lot of health or risk factors, health problems that a woman is exposed to, just being a woman.
Hmm.
So someone would ask, why is it different? Why is it different from, women's health, different from men's health? The answer is very simple. A woman is hormonal. She undergoes right from puberty.
Hmm.
um, she begins to undergo unique um, changes, which are usually hormonal in nature. And that starts with her period. So when a woman reaches the age of puberty, usually on the average is about 12 years.
Hmm.
um so for some people it comes earlier and others later, but the average is 12 years. From that time, that woman undergoes cyclical changes. Every month she has to shed her lining and experience the period or menstruation, and this continues until she's gotten to the age of pregnancy, and she conceives, and undergoes the changes that happen in pregnancy. And then that continues, her fertility continues until menopause. Even at menopause, when the woman is about to stop this, she also undergoes a lot of changes. These changes does not only affect a particular part of the body, it affects almost all organs, all systems in the body. And that is
Hmm.
why a woman's health is different from that of a man. Our male counterparts have hardly they have these hormones, but they don't undergo these dramatic changes as it happens in a woman. And so that's why
Hmm.
a woman's health is more kind of complicated. I hope
Yeah.
that answers the question.
Yes, yes, it does. Thank you very much. To our viewers watching, please, this is your time to like, share, and please ask your questions. This is a golden time to see a nurse. You don't have to book with your GP for the next two 2 weeks, a routine check or whatever, to be able to ask them this question. Here is she, live and direct, and she's here to offload what she has for us. So please, let's make of use of this opportunity. My system is trying to cry out, saying my battery's low, so forgive me.
Oh,
I'll have to dive back. Okay, now
even
we go on to the next question. and that is about advancement in reproductive healthcare. So, what are the latest advancements in reproductive healthcare? Because I know every woman, well, even those who are past age, they want to know what are the is it concept contraceptives and all of that. So
Yeah.
it's all part of the reproductive healthcare. Please, over to you.
Thank you. With regards to sexual health and contraception, there hasn't been major changes. We still have the basic contraceptions that every woman can use, depending on your lifestyle and your what you want, what is most suitable to you, because everybody experiences life
Yeah.
in a different way. So also the choice of contraception is peculiar, is all dependent on people's choices and what works for
Mm,
them. So we still have the intrauterine devices, we still have the hormonals, the hormone devices that is being given through they're called implants. So
mm,
nothing has changed with days. However, there is an area that I would like to discuss or throw more light on among our growing girls and upcoming professionals. What we noticed recently what we noticed in the recent times is that we have people coming up with you know um re- infertility issues. And
mm,
so with regards to contraception, women are advised, because of what happens to women, you have a time when you're at the prime of your fertility, and
mm,
then you have a time when it goes down, and that is from age 35. It begins to go down and then completely decline when you get into menopause. I mean, completely, your hormones completely, dramatically changes in menopause. So ovarian reserve drops and every other thing. So what we usually advise women to do is to there's something they call now egg freezing, and that is a kind of preserving fertility. Because of the nature of what is happening recently, people um marry late and also give birth late. um to continue to preserve fertility, we do advise fertility preservation, and that is just coming in to save some of your eggs, so that in peradventure you get into menopause and you still want to have a baby, you still have a chance of using those eggs to conceive, I mean, to make your own embryos and have your baby. This is one of the recent developments, and we understand that some companies or firms are beginning to sponsor this program for their employees, because they understand that due to women becoming more ambitious, working hard, and sometimes they don't remember to settle down, or maybe it may be perhaps not about remembering, but just when life happens and they're not able to settle down early or have children early, they still have something to use later, without having to without any problem. So it's very easy to preserve your eggs or to preserve your fertility by just walking into one of these clinics, and they'll tell you what it entails. Usually do it cyclically. So every woman, I want to explain more. So when you start when you go into puberty at the age of 12 or thereabout, every cycle you lose eggs. So whether or not you get pregnant or whether or not you use it, you the body, the ovaries, you have two ovaries, a pair of ovaries, one on each side. These ovaries kind of recruit eggs every month. They recruit follicles which bear the eggs. So what we do is that when you want to cryopreserve your eggs or save them, we make all those recruited follicles to grow in size, and then and then take the eggs from them at a particular size when they get to a particular size, and then freeze them. So instead of wasting them, they are being saved for future use. So it's one of the recent advancements which is actually working, because we see a number of women coming back later to use these eggs. The second thing that recent happening or advancement is uterus or womb transplant. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's a recent one where a woman who doesn't have womb for some reasons, maybe due to surgical reasons, or some people born with uterine abnormalities. So these women have the chance of giving birth to their own children by having a transplant, just like you have other organ transplants. So this is a recent occurrence or advancement. So if you have issues with the womb, or there's been an issue, there's still a chance for you to conceive with this new program known as a uterine transplant. It's worked. We have a live delivery of a woman who had a uterus transplant recently, and more people are coming up. So it's just one of the recent ones. I will leave you with these two because it's the recent happenings. I don't know if I've answered your questions. If you have any questions regarding these two or more, I'm happy to take them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for enlightening us, for educating us. So many things are going on. You know, the the technological advancement in the health sector is just mind blowing. So many things that you could never thought of before are now possible. So thank you for enlightening us. And I'm sure there are so many you want to know more. You know, if you're in that category, you're asking for someone, please ask the question now, because we will be done in a few minutes. We do not want people to go away with their questions. Please ask. And the next one is, at what age should women begin routine screenings like mammograms and pap smears?
Thank you. So with reference to the UK, um, at age 25, usually, your GP would usually contact you to book in your cervical smear test. And you then repeat it every 3 years if everything is fine. Otherwise, they will let you know when to come back for repeat. So we already know that cervical smear, also known as pap smear, they're all in the same category, is used to you know with this test, is a diagnostic test, is used to identify if there has been cervical changes in a woman, and this early identification would help to reduce the risk of cervical cancer. All right. So it's very important that every woman from the age of 25, once contacted, do not say, "Oh, I do not want to," or "I don't feel like I don't want, this procedure." It's very important, and it's proven to be helpful from research findings. Um, it's very helpful in reducing the risk of cervical cancer. So before this came up, there's been many deaths from cervical cancer, which is one of the major cancers that kill, that has led to death of women. But with this pap smear and other it's generally called cervical smear test, we're able to identify the initial changes in the cervix, and also identify if there is if the woman is at risk of HPV, which is the virus that causes or predisposes this woman to cervical cancer. If that is identified, they will have to monitor, or they will also do other tests just to make sure that this woman, apart from having the HPV, hasn't undergone the changes around the cervix that is showing that she could be suffering from cancer, cervical cancer. At the age of 25, usually most GPs contact every woman from that age. But if you have reached this age and you haven't been contacted, please make it your priority to get to your GP and book in one for yourself. And you have to repeat it every 3 years because of the changes that happen. And also for our girl children, we should encourage them to have the vaccination at an early, usually around 9 years or thereabout, or even earlier. So do not say, "Oh no, it's not. It's I don't want it." Very, it works from from scientific evidence. It works. So please make sure you vaccinate your girl child against cervical cancer, and then when they get to the age of 25, encourage them to book in their cervical smear test and have it done every 3 years. Sometimes, like I explained earlier, if there's an abnormality, they will get you to repeat it even before then. But prevention is better than cure. Once it's identified early, is treatment. The treatment is usually very helpful. Early treatment is very helpful in the prevention of the cancer itself. And
Yeah.
the second screening or routine screening is mammogram, which is done to examine the breast for women. But here in the UK, it's done from the age of 40. This is because it's from that age that is called perimenopause, around the time when a woman begins to experience dramatic changes in the breast and other tissues. So, and also the hormones have been found to be responsible for these cancers. So, when a woman is about to go into menopause, you start seeing the changes in the hormones, and that's why it's being done from that age 40 and above. So once you're contacted, or if you haven't been contacted to have this done, please make effort to reach out to your GP and indicate interest in running this test. Mammogram also helps to identify if there is any um, changes in the breast. Sometimes when we do this examination, which we advise every woman to do, especially after your period, the week after your period, try to do the self breast examination, which also helps you identify lumps or any changes in your breast. Apart from that, the mammograms look deep into the tissues to identify any changes, and that with if once identified, treatment is easy, and that prevents cancer. Other tests like bone density tests are done for postmenopausal women, that's from the age of 60, because of the risk of osteoporosis, which is when the bone density reduces and the woman is at risk of fracture. And this is also hormonal because of the reduction in the level of the hormones. Um, um, because of that, they check postmenopausal women with a bone scan. They just scan their bones. There are some minor fractures that may not be noticed, but when they scan through the scans, they can identify this and help this woman with her activities of daily living without complications. So these are the common routine screenings that a woman can do.
Okay. So in other countries, I think you've mentioned in the UK,
Yeah.
and even with the UK, I think I haven't heard a routine. Well, maybe for older ones, but I haven't heard, because I'm 50 at the moment, and I'm thinking I haven't received any letter saying, "Oh, come for any mammogram, anything." So
They
I'm
do.
wondering.
So thank you for that. Like I said, it depends on your GP. Some GPs, contact they will contact you once you cross the age of 40, and they invite you for this test and including mammogram. So, but if they haven't, then you need to speak to your doctor, your GP, and say, look, I want this test done, and they will do it for you based on your age. So please, if you're in this category that haven't had access to these health screenings, and you've crossed the age of 40, please just let your GP know that you'd like this test, and they'll get it done. Apart from the mammogram, they'll do other tests to check your cholesterol, to check your cholesterol level, because they notice also when a woman is perimenopausal, there's been changes in the you know heart vessels. I don't want to go into details, but there could be changes, and that increases their risk of heart diseases. So when you do these checks, they'll do during these routine checks, they do other blood tests for you to check that cholesterol, to check other things. So it is very important. Please let your GP know.
Okay, thank you very much. So you've heard that. Let your GP know. Thank you. T says good evening or welcome here. Thank you very much for joining us. Please ask your questions. And remember to like those. I've got a fly pestering here. And remember to like, to share, and to let someone know about this, because information is key when it comes to women's health. So many people don't know about so many things until the walls start falling apart, and you'll be like, okay, how come I didn't know? Like I just said, you know, I haven't been written any letter that I need to come for mammogram or anything like that. But with the way the health system is, sometimes you have to be the one to be proactive with your health. Don't wait for them to write you.
That's right.
Don't wait for anyone,
That's right.
because you could just be one of the statistics. Like, okay, yeah, these ones are okay. If you're not okay, I'm sure you'll be
Yeah.
running to the hospital. So we don't want to wait till then when we're not feeling okay. We want
Mm.
to start putting all the preventive measures in place before then. So thank you very much for enlightening us. Viewers, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Thank you for staying with us. Please share and like, and let other people learn from this. We remember there's nothing free in life. So even my sister here, who is giving her time is not free. She just wants to pour out, from the blessing she's been given of that knowledge. My own time is not free either. So we're just giving you this so that you can make use of it, and please don't waste this time. Use it and let us have a more healthy women support around us. Next question, please. How can women reduce their risk of common diseases like breast cancer, cervical cancer, or heart disease?
Thank you so much. This is a very important question and forms the basis of what our discussion, our entire discussion
Mm,
today. That is preventive approach to this to reducing the risk of these cancers and other health diseases, other health abnormalities or problems. Um, Most of these health conditions, if you ask, like if I'm to discuss the ones I mentioned earlier, I mentioned uterine fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS, and all of that, which are peculiar to women. If you look at their, they will tell you is unknown. However, they have predisposing factors or risk factors. Um, because it's unknown, it's most of them would advise changes in health style in your lifestyle in the management of these conditions, and from research findings it's proven to be helpful. If we're able to adjust our lifestyle, it would greatly impact on our health positively. And when we're talking about lifestyle adjustment to managing health problems, if you're already having these health problems, or to preventing them if you don't have them, we're looking at three basic things. There are many more, but I'll dwell on these three basic ones. The first is our
mm,
diet, the food we eat. The second is our kind of lifestyle activities. So recently we do more of sedentary lifestyles, like we go to work, and most of our work, the nature of our works is just staying in a place, looking at the computer and all of that. It doesn't involve much
mm,
activities. And then even when we come back from work, we're in a place, or where the days we don't work, we have less
mm,
activities, and this has great impact on our health in a negative way. And the other thing I'll be looking at is apart from so diet, the second one is activities, and the other ones include um, our habits like smoking, drinking, and all of that. So I'll go straight to the first one, which is our dietary habits or lifestyle. Research has proven that recently people are, you know, addicted, or I wouldn't say addicted, but they are prone to eating more of ultra processed
mm,
foods than natural foods. And this exposes us to many health conditions, including obesity, heart diseases, and all that we have mentioned, cancers and all of that. So we should look into what we eat. And there's been researches from NHS and even the many research communities or firms proving that these ultra processed foods harms us in so many ways. So it will be a very wise idea to begin to look and adjust what we eat. We advise to eat more of wholemeal foods when fruit or grains like beans, wheat, and barley, all of that, they are wholemeal foods. When you go to buy, for instance, bread, most of us eat bread. So instead of eating the processed breads, or like buns and all of that, you get the whole meal one made with meat. The whole thing is used in making the food, including I don't know the part of the food, but they use everything instead of just removing and using just the flour or the processed part of the food. So using the food the way it is and as natural as it is, it's very important eating it. So instead of you getting the white bread or the processed ones, you can just get the wheat bread, the wholemeal bread. And also we should make it a habit to teach our children how to eat healthy. Eat more of vegetables and fruits. There was some I was reading about something, and it was saying if you go to the shops, whenever you go to the shops, make sure you shop around the perimeter of each shop. For instance, if you go into Tesco or Sainsbury, wherever as you enter, you first meet the vegetable and fruit. You know, it's intentional, and that is advertising the ones that are more important first. So please eat more of vegetables. Teach the children how to eat vegetables and fruit. They're very important. Um, there's a lot of ongoing research about the gut. The gut controls every other thing. And what we notice that because we're not looking after our gut, the gut means the gastrointestinal system, and that processes what we eat. So because we're not looking after it, is beginning to cause havoc to our body. And time wouldn't let me go into details about how eating healthy would benefit your gut and the rest of your body. But please avoid ultra processed foods, all these pizzas, all these I don't know them, ice creams and all of that. You can just start with reducing your intake, the frequency and the amount you eat. You eat these foods. It starts with that, and then making sure that every food you eat, there's a healthy plate. You can browse it and you see what proportion of this food should be in your plate. Okay, so the whole meal should form your basic diet. I mean, basic proportion of the oil you're eating, followed by protein. So it could be meat, it could be fish. Generally, we advise people to reduce intake of red meat because this increases your risk of heart diseases due to what they contain. So you can eat meat, but reduce the intake of red meat. Meat is fine. Fish is very good if you don't have allergies or things around that around eating fish, but it's very good. And then another part of our diet is reducing our intake of salt. So most of the time, especially we Africans, we are inclined to heavy salt in our food. We should try to reduce it because it also increases the risk of hypertension and other health conditions, heart diseases. Begin to watch the regular intake or at the amount that we're advised to take is just about a teaspoon, which is like 6 milligrams. I mean, 6 grams of salt. So just use the teaspoon to measure. If you If you can't measure, just try to generally reduce your intake of salt. That would really help. You may not notice the positive change or the what the advantage immediately, but in the long run, you notice that it improves your general health. Another thing to do is water. Our water intake is poor. That has been noticed for most
Thank you
people.
for reminding me.
We usually advise um, a good amount of water intake. Um, did we usually advise like 1.5, there to be at least 1.5 to 2 liters per day. And we also, for your gut health, we do advise intake of water first thing in the morning. The reason is that when you go through the night till morning, your body would have undergone some, you know, dehydration because you haven't drank all through the night. So when you wake up in the morning, taking a few cups of water gets your body ready, started for the day, and it has shown to improve the gut health. It's very helpful. It also improves your metabolism, especially for women over the age of who are going into menopause. This is a very lifestyle, a good lifestyle to learn if you're not used to it. So make sure you drink a good amount of water in the morning and throughout the day. Um, good amount of water intake would really help to keep your body fit. The other thing about diet I would like to talk about is I know I did advise us to eat vegetables. We should also avoid overcooking our vegetables. All right, most of these vegetables need just a little bit of heat to get them ready. Just a little bit of blanching, not overcooking. When you overcook them, you're just eating the fibers, and most of the nutrients are gone. So please don't overcook your vegetables. They're very it's very they just require a little bit of heat. Um, I
Would
hope
you
I'm not
recommend steaming? If I may?
steaming is very good, very good. So I'll recommend steaming or blanching. So steaming is very good, but don't cook it for in the steam for a very long time. Um, Whatever we can do to take in much of is very helpful. We have people making smoothies is also very good. And also instead of buying juice from the shops, you can make your own juice, get a juicer and get yourself the real fruit juiced with the machine and then you can just chill it and take it. It's very helpful. Most of these things that we buy do not contain the real fruit in any way. They're just sugar and all of that. So please these are the common lifestyle adjustments we can make. And I'm asking every woman listening to me not to just um, leave it with yourself. I want you to pass the message across because we're beginning to see so many health challenges coming up and problems. And that has all fingers are pointing to what we eat. Please try to pass this message across and also teach your children on healthy eating, healthy diet. Teach them how to eat healthy always, because most of the times even with my own children is it's like a tug of war. They don't want to eat vegetables, don't want to eat this and
Eaters.
that, but you have to keep teaching them. Keep why sometimes when I teach them they say, oh, they make these changes by themselves even without much. So make them let them realize that they have the power to make their choices, and the choices they make can impact directly on their health. So that would also help them in making good choices. Apart from dieting, um I need to mention something about sugar intake. So sugar is very, I would say it's the way it is. It's poisonous. We should try to reduce our intake of sugar. If you're the type that you're already used to it, you should begin to reduce your intake of sugar or use other substitutes like stevia and other healthy sweeteners. Of course, there are many sweeteners in the market today. Some of them are not healthy. So what I would advise you to do to find a healthy one, just look at the information at the back and browse it. Sometimes you see E. These sweeteners are labeled with, and the colorants that are used for coloring foods. They have labels. So once you browse it, they will tell you if this is healthy or not. So please read the information leaflet on every food you buy. Just make it a habit. You see that it helps with your choices of what to buy and what not to buy, or what to eat or what not to eat. So as much as possible, reduce your intake of sugar. It's very, very important. And it's also the major cause of many health problems that we are having. Other things that we can do to improve our health and reduce our risk of exercises. Like I mentioned earlier, most of our lifestyles, we most the nature of our work, for some people, is more of sitting down, and you don't move throughout the day. You can track your activities throughout the day with, if you have a smartwatch or something, or fit one of these devices that can help you track your activities. You see, if you notice that you're not having up to 5,000 steps in a day, it's really not good for you. So I would advise you to make efforts to, exercise, walk. There are so many, if you look on YouTube, you see many influencers or people who help with, provide you with um, exercises, ways to do your exercise without going to the gym. So if going to the gym is a problem, of course, one um, advice is make sure stay active. But if you can't, you can do it within the comfort of your home. Just use the guide of one of these people that help to train us online. They can help you to stay active. Just consistency, being consistent with it, it helps you. And when you are exercising, it helps your body burn fat and also keep active, and it's good for your heart and other parts of the body. So exercise is very good. The other thing is sleep. Sleep is very important. I know sometimes, due to the nature of our work, we do some night shift and all of that. Even if you do that, make sure you have enough time during the day to sleep. Sleep helps your body, build immunity and other things, helps you with your brain concentration and all of that. Is very, very important. During sleep, your body recover from stress and damaged tissues or organs. That's the time they heal, when you're sleeping. So if you don't heal, you're giving your heart so much work, because when you're sleeping, your heart, you notice that your heart rate drops, and the heart pumping and all the activities reduces, giving your heart time to rest. But when you're active throughout, you're increasing your risk of hypertension and other health conditions. Your brain too is active throughout the day, and that is not good. That predisposes us to diseases and other things. So please make time to rest, make time to sleep. Sleep is very important. And when I mean sleep, you know when you sleep. Of course, you know when you sleep. Sometimes people just lie down and they're not able to sleep. If you're having issues with sleep, you can speak to your GP about it sometimes, or look into the reason why you're not sleeping. Sleep is very important. So please, if you're a woman here and you're finding it out hard, or maybe you're working and you're not giving yourself time to sleep, please, from today, make it a habit to sleep. When I mean sleep, for at least 6 hours in a day. Another Other things that could help reduce your risk of diseases is um, knowing yourself. So some people don't even know their history. So most of the health conditions run in the family. They are familial or genetic. So it's good to know your family. Know if someone, major health conditions like hypertension. For instance, if your mom or dad is hypertensive, it's most likely that you will suffer from hypertension. It's good to know this history. If your mom or grandmom had cancer of the breast or that, it's good that you know that, and that will help you, watch yourself for any changes that happen in your body, so that you can seek medical help early. And the other thing is managing stress. As a woman, you're exposed to stress most of the time. So finding a way to manage stress. There are so many suggestions or advice or ways you can deal with stress, time management, and all of that. Relaxation and deep breathing exercise is very important. Um, so when you're facing stress, find a way to control it, because when a woman is stressed, there are some bad hormones that could be released, and that would in other ways affect our health. So find a way to deal with stress. The other thing I would also advise is quitting unhealthy habits like smoking and alcohol intake. So if you're in this habit, you can start by reducing it. If you need help, there are so many help available to people who are smoking or dealing with, you know, alcoholism. There are so many. If you just browse it or go to your GP, they will provide you a link or a means of quitting this habit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Our viewers, thank you for sticking with us up till now and for the few more minutes we have left. If you have any questions, please ask now. Now, or I don't want to say never, but ask now. And thank you very much for staying with us. You mentioned something about water, and I'm thinking, so many. I know so many. Well, let me not say so many. I know a few ladies who would put water by their bedside so that when you wake up in the night, you want to drink some water. Is that a healthy thing? Because I know there are some people that would they would tell them not to drink water from when it's late. So I'm trying to look at what's the balance there. How do
Yeah.
you know when it's okay for you to drink water in the night even when you wake up, or not to drink after 7?
Okay, so thank you so much for that question. Yeah, if you're not on any fluid restriction, now some people have some health conditions that will require fluid restriction, meaning they're only to take certain amount of water in a day. For instance, if someone is suffering from heart failure, you don't want to overburden the heart, and so you're under fluid restriction. If you're not under this category, there is no restriction to any amount of water you should take or when to take it.
Oh,
But water shouldn't be the reason why you should wake up at night. So you shouldn't say, okay, I'm going to wake up by so time to drink water. But if you do wake up and you're thirsty, please drink water. All right. While it's just drink water just to help your body with the processes and excretion. So, but it shouldn't be a reason why you should wake up in the night to for any for water, just to drink water. But the one I'm particular about is the one in the morning, first thing in the morning. It flushes the toxins from the previous day's activity. When you wake up in the morning and drink water, and it's like kind of stimulates the production of some the secretion, not production, the secretion of some enzymes ready for work. They are ready for you. So you're just telling your body, I'm awake now, I'm active when you drink water. So that's the one I we're particular about. And from studies, it's shown to help the gut health, to help the bacteria as well in there are some good bacteria which helps with breaking down your food and all of that. So it's very important taking water in the morning. And as long as you don't have restriction, you're all right to take water anytime during the day.
okay. Thank you very much. Somebody says, T says, I had to contact my GP at age 45 when a friend mentioned it to me. I never knew I should have had the check at age 40. So, meaning, the information is key, like we've just said. Some people, your GPs will contact you, some they won't.
Yeah.
Just so we all have to be proactive about our health and
Yeah.
don't leave it to chance. And there's some countries where they don't even bother. There's no routine about when
About
to
it,
call you
yeah.
for it. So you have to like go and ask, because it all depends on money and insurance and some other things in different parts of the world. So we are fortunate here in the NHS that
UK,
we
yeah.
can walk into our GPs and say, "Oh, this I am entitled to have this. Can I have it?" But then there's one question about this mammogram thing.
Yeah.
People who have, well, not people, well, at least one person that's done it, I know has done it. They said they compress the thing so much that it begins to hurt. What is that?
Yeah,
That
so
alone that alone is scaring me away from going that section. I'd rather do my own full examination.
yeah, thank you so much for that question. Yeah, I've personally I've not had it, but I've seen it
Okay.
done. It squeezes your breast so that it can get into the tissues. But it causes anything to the breast. Even if you tap your breast, with a strong pressure, you feel the pain. The breast has a lot of nerves, and that makes it very sensitive to pain. So that compression causes pain, but it doesn't harm you in any way. So yeah, you could experience pain during or after the mammogram, but it shouldn't linger for a while. It shouldn't continue. It's just for that moment.
And if it does, because
If
and
it
if it
does, then
does,
you have to report to your
report you.
GP. Yeah,
Because
or
there was
to whoever has done the person who conducted the test
yeah.
should know that this is causing you pain. But before that, they would have given you information about what you're about to do, the procedure you're going to do, and possible side effects
Right.
from that.
Because I was reading somewhere that if you have pain for less, more than a day or something, it could be hermo, like maybe something has burst
Bleeding
somewhere,
inside, yeah.
hermo something.
That's right. Yeah, that's
Oh,
right. So it could be, but the chances are very small
bleeding.
that you could
Okay.
have bleeding or rupture of a blood vessel because of that. Because actually, the pressure
Yeah,
is a
it's
lot
a
of
lot.
pressure to do mammogram. They put the breast under a pressure
Yes.
so that it can visualize inside the scan inside the breast. So
Mm.
if you do have bleeding, I mean, if you do have that pain, it could indicate that you have a ruptured vessel. All you need
Mm.
to do is just to report to the
So
gynecologist or your GP, whoever sent you for the test. They will further
yeah.
examine or keep an eye on it to see. Most of the time, it resolves by itself, it gets reabsorbed. But if it continues, of course, you will notice one of the signs that is still, you know, is a problem is when you continue to have pain on that side. So if the pain
Mm.
continues, please do not keep quiet. Please let the GP or whoever conducted the test know that it hasn't healed yet.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Alright.
The great family says, what advantage is it if the water is warm water? Because we know they say, oh, Chinese people live longer because they drink tea, happy they drink hot something. So, what advantage is it? Is warm water over cold water? You know, when we say cold water, the
Yeah.
fridge water for
Yeah.
those who live in the hot regions of the world.
Generally, thank you for that question. Generally, hot warm water, is usually advised. The reason is because um, your body is warm. If you check normal temperature is about 37.5 degrees Celsius. So if you take warm water, it's just like you're aligning with body's temperature. If you take cold water, the I, I
Even
told
your
you that
eye
you
alone.
have some bacteria. Sometimes some researchers are pointing to the fact that the cold water may not be favorable to these organisms and could kill them or cause other health conditions. There has not been any substantial research you know, saying hot water is better than cold water. But what people are saying is that because our body is warm in nature, it would be a good idea to, take warm water and rather than cold water. But instead of you not to take water at all, if taking warm water is going to reduce your intake of water generally, we advise you to take any water, cold or warm,
Yes,
just to
yes.
make sure. The main thing we are particular about is
To get hydrated.
your hydration.
Mm, because I know there's some very some elderly people, they will say, "Oh, I don't want to drink water, but I'd rather take tea." So if tea, well, hydrate yourself. Even if it's tea, you're gonna take those some
Yeah, just make sure you're taking in
drinking
fluid.
something.
Um, the other thing I want to talk about tea, I know people say I don't drink water, I take only tea.
Or coffee.
Now most tea contain caffeine, and for elderly people, we don't usually advise high intake of caffeine. So if you're taking tea, is okay, 1 or 2 cups or 3 cups a day. But if you're the type that take up to eight
Depends on
cups of tea, that not some herbal teas are good. They're beginning to make all these herbal teas, some
green
with
tea.
fruit as well, like
Yeah.
blackcurrant and all of that. They are good. But if your tea contains caffeine, I mean normal tea, it will be okay, especially as you're aging, to reduce the intake of teas that still have caffeine in them, because it stimulates the body, is a stimulant, and the effect includes hypertension, and some bladder. Sometimes we notice that these people go down with bladder infections, urinary tract infections generally. So we advise you to start reducing your intake of tea, or take other herbal teas that don't have caffeine.
Okay. Thank you very much. Two more questions. Ooh, it's nearly 1 hour. I can't believe I've been sitting for an hour. Thank you very much for your time. Two more questions. Please send your questions in because we're rounding up gradually. One is, how does physical health impact on a woman's mental health?
Thank you for that question. So, a woman is subject to a lot of things we mentioned earlier. Um, Going through the cycles alone and the hormonal changes that happen during this each of this cycle impacts on the brain, has effect on the brain, and it could predispose a woman to mental health conditions like anxiety, um, depression, and so many other things. If for every woman here, you notice that at some point during your cycle, especially just before your period, you could be experiencing a time when you're very low in your mood, and you're very sensitive to things. It's called irritability, and also just general mood changes. You're very either anxious or depressed. So this is what happens in a woman just because she's a woman and she's made up of hormones. The rise and fall of these hormones affects the brain, like I explained, and that could predispose a woman to mental health problems. um the best thing, what we advise generally, is just to know your body and know when to seek help. So if it goes out of normal for you, you may want to speak to a mental health specialist, or your GP. Starts with your GP about it. So, but it's not, it's part of a woman. It's just common that the hormonal changes could make you feel low at some point during your cycle. You have mood swings. It could be just laughing now and then, the next time you're very teary, you're just very moody, you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't want to socialize, you just sometimes depressed. um it's I will not say it's out of normal for a woman to experience this, just because of the hormonal changes. And if you notice that it's getting out of hand, please speak to someone about it. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much. I was still waiting for that pounded yam and egusi soup. Salt.
Okay, so
Well,
I know. Yeah, so I was speaking to a group of women about how the natural food, we shouldn't be, will I say, shy, or we shouldn't feel it's unsafe to eat our natural food as Africans. We grew up with a lot of this food. Now moving over here, you know, some people have lost a grip of it, and are used to eating ultra processed foods, and some of these foods are not healthy. So please, if you still have access to some of these home foods, like pounded yam and egusi. So that was when I was discussing to women who are undergoing
Yeah.
menopause, and I told them that I went to a seminar where I found out that in the yam, some of the medication, hormonal medications, are made from yam that we eat. So instead of them, because what happens during menopause is that these hormones are reduced, especially estrogen and progesterone. They are very low or at all. They are very low. So instead of you going to do HRT, take this medication, these hormones, you can eat them naturally. They are called um so it's just plants giving I've forgotten their name, what they are called, but this some of these plants are able to give you these hormones. So like pounded yam, one woman testified that when she eats a bowl of pounded yam and a goosey soup, like her body just feels like different. So, and I say, yeah, it could be because it contains these hormones naturally, so you don't need to take additional ones or go to the doctor to give you some of these hormones when you're going through menopause, because you can actually eat them. Some of our nuts and what do you call them, seeds like sesame seeds, um all this, there are many of them, many of these vegetable seeds, pumpkins and all of that, they contain, even the egusi, they contain hormones, they contain estrogen that can help you, replenish what you've lost. So that's a good one, a good picture. So for our menopausal women or people who are undergoing, taking this is really refreshing, according to one of the women I was speaking to. It's really refreshing for her. Like even if it's once a week, you have a good you have a good source of replenishing your hormones, which your body is losing because of what you're going through. So it's really very important. Apart from egusi soup and pounded yam, there are other things that we eat. Our beans contain, the beans, our beans, beans. People don't like
Yes,
to eat beans, but
the
it
red beans.
contains, yes, it contains, a good amount of these hormones and good nutrients. They are also helpful with digestion because they contain fibers. So please, let's go back to them. If you travel home and instead of buy, so many things, make sure you bring back some of our food. Bring them
Mm.
back, and you can even shop them. There are so many places to shop them. Don't I know they may be expensive, but it's good to you know include them in our diet. Even you can't do them daily, you can do them on a weekly basis. They are very healthy and they help our body. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So our food are not as bad as some people paint it to be.
Mm,
Let's eat proper food and not processed canned tin food here
exactly.
and there. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I wanted to
Viewers.
also add that for the beans, some of our food, because they are dried out and they are preserved, what you can do to reduce bloating and other problems is
Yeah.
to soak them in water for some hours. So for 2 or 3 hours, some people soak longer than that, and that helps to get rid of the chemicals and all the things that are used in preserving them. So when you soak them, some people soak overnight and then cook them. It reduces, the effect of, the bloating and other things that it gives. So please encourage your children to eat them, even your pounded yam. I know some people don't eat them because of the risk of gaining weight. Yeah, they can, make you gain weight. But the thing is, if you can reduce the amount but still
Yeah.
eat them. So it's the quantity of what we, back home, we eat it as we have one main meal, one main dish, and it has to be, yeah. So you can just reduce of eating much of the pounded yam, just maybe reduce the amount and take more of soup, which contains vegetables
Yes.
and other nutrients. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And this last question is for the young women. And when we say young women, those who are the adolescents, those who are, puberty. I know my sister did a research one time about pediatric anemia. women go through menstrual times, and sometimes it's hard to detect, even in young ones, if
Mm.
they're anemic, until when they are now ready to have children. You now start saying, oh, this person's anemic or whatever it is, but because they're losing blood and they're not sure what to do about it. So
Yeah.
what advice would you give to young women about managing their health?
Thank you for that question. So, like the first thing I would like a young women to do or to know is to know their body, know what is normal for you, so that when something happens out of normal, you're able to identify it and seek help. So some people have issues. I know a lady who was very anemic to the point that it was beginning to affect other organs before she even noticed. So anemia is one of the common problems, especially people who have heavy
Mm,
periods, um, and also other health conditions like fibroid. So it's good to know what's, for instance, if you're not used to having lightheadedness or fainting, and all of a sudden when you stand up, you notice, these symptoms. It could be something telling you that
mm,
you're not okay. So you could just go and have a checkup with your GP. They do your blood test and check if it's okay or not. It's very simple test,
mm,
full blood count, and with that they can determine. Or if you notice that all of a sudden this period is heavier and you don't usually have heavy periods, and you notice that this period is heavier, you could just monitor, ask questions. Talk to your colleagues. I know sometimes you can get false information, but if you don't get that answer that you want, you can also speak to your GP and use opportunities like this to address your health issues. But do not keep quiet. Do not do nothing about a problem. So know yourself first. Know what is normal and what
mm.
is not normal, and then seek help when
Okay, we've
necessary.
got a
Thank you.
last question, I believe. Here. Thank you very much, Hannah, for asking this. It says, hi, I have a question about irregular periods in a lady in her early 20s who is not taking any contraceptives or any drug that could alter the regulation of the period. What should be done?
Okay, thank you for that question, Hannah. There are so many reasons why a woman would could have irregular periods. Um, I mentioned one of them previously. That is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So it's a collection of symptoms that forms a syndrome. So, and that includes that is usually due to hormonal imbalance. So the hormones are not, because what regulates a woman's cycle is the hormones. The first one, it starts from the brain, and then that's from the hypothalamus secretes a hormone which affects the ovaries, and the ovaries, it makes the ovaries to grow the follicles, and the ovary, as follicles are growing, they secrete the estrogen and progesterone. So this, what regulates a woman's cycle is the hormone. So when a woman is having irregularities, it's usually due to a problem with the hormones. So, and that could be caused by polycystic ovarian syndrome. So if this is an is if this has been happening in your friend, she may need to check, because she may not have any direct impact now until maybe later when she wants to conceive, and they will be telling her that she has polycystic ovarian syndrome. It can also affect, fertility. Um, Usually, when a woman has this condition, there is no direct treatment. All they will tell you is to adjust your lifestyle, which I explained earlier about your dieting, exercise, and other lifestyle. So maybe you should tell your friend to start with that first if she doesn't want to go seek medical help. Of course, it's not affecting her directly now, but like I said, it could affect later in the future. So she could start with lifestyle adjustment by making sure she exercises, and also she's eating healthy and taking proper amount of water. If she's doing all this and it's still not, regular, she could just do a gynae checkup. Just see your gynecologist to run some tests do a scan, and see if there's any health problem that could be causing these irregularities. But like I said, most of the times is um is due to hormonal imbalance. If she's not taking contraceptive, then it's most likely to be caused by hormonal issues. Okay, I can see her question. She said, I forgot to add that she had done a hormonal test and her hormones were all within normal range. She's currently waiting an ultrasound. Thank you. So, Anna, yes, if they do an ultrasound and it's still normal, then it could be other factors. Like I mentioned, so many things, even toxins in our environment today, there are lots of toxins, starting with, the ones we use for washing our toilets, washing our hands, and the ones we inhale in the air. They can affect the environmental factors. There are environmental factors that affect a woman's body. And they also affect the hormones. So it could also be that. But I advise her to have a scan first. An ultrasound scan will help see what's happening in the ovaries and in the womb, and it will be able to identify the problem. But even if she does that and it's still fine, she should just make sure she's doing all these things I mentioned earlier, the lifestyle adjustments, and I'm sure she will normalize with time. But it's most likely to be caused by polycystic ovarian syndrome. So let's wait for the scan. And if it still doesn't happen, she may need to just see a gynecologist for further advice.
Thank you very much. So please see your gynecology for advice if it doesn't go away. So I don't know if you've answered the question about the young women's health. I know we were talking about it.
Yes, yes. What can they do?
What
Yeah,
advice? Yeah, what
I
advice
mentioned.
would you
Yeah,
give young women about managing their health? Okay, I think we've mentioned that already. So thank you very much
yeah.
for this time. I really appreciate those who are online. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you. She says, thank you very much,
Thank
Hannah, and everyone
you. You're
else who's
welcome.
asked questions. Hope this time has been fruitful for you. Please, do you have any last words for us before we go? We 1 hour, what, 11 minutes? Wow. Consultation fee. How much per second? Thank you.
Thank you. My last word or advice would just be to take your health seriously. Starting with having the attitude of prevention rather than waiting for when you have a particular disease or condition. Just study your body to know your body. Know your health histories, your family histories is very important because that will help you to know what you're dealing with. Study your body so that when you know what is normal for you, when there's a change, you can just identify it and seek help. um Make sure you're resting. Most women in the UK hardly find time to rest. Rest is very, very important. Find a balance with your activities. Try to find time to rest, to socialize. Is very important here because of your mental health. So if you're the type that is just work and home, find the time to also socialize with other people. That helps you to 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 just talking alone is a therapy. Telling, having a chat, discussing, and other ways of dealing with stress is very important, like relaxation, deep breathing. If we are not used to some of these, stress living techniques, it's very important to look into them. When you're stressed, just take time to deep breathe. It helps you. And also, you are what you eat. Make sure you're particular about what you eat. If you're the type that you're always busy, make sure you find time to make a good meal for yourself. Is very important. um the other things is use up the opportunities for health screening. If you see where they're doing, checking people's blood pressure or things like that, or even doing a complete checkup, please use it and you may be surprised. So don't say, oh, I'm healthy, I don't need it. Just use up any chance you have to improve your health is very important. And above all, I usually advise people. The Bible said, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." So in all your ways, acknowledge God, and He will direct your path. So whatever you're doing, commit your ways, unto God, and He will help you. God bless you all. Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
me.
thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Ogo. You've blessed us today. You shall be watered back in return. Thank you very much. Thank you, BB, for your comment saying thank you. And I'm sure everyone who was stuck with us to the end will be appreciative of that information they've received. T says the mammogram is not as bad as they say. It is safer to do the mammogram than suffer the risk of undetected breast
That's
cancer.
That's
Early
absolutely
detection
true. Yeah,
saves
it's
life.
better. It's better. It's not bad actually. Just the pressure you feel, but after
Mm,
that it disappears. It's you hardly have
mm,
complications from it. So please, it's very important that you
yes.
do mammogram and also keep up to date with your appointment. If you're asked to come back so time, make
Yeah.
sure you go back for
Yeah,
your
thank you very
checkup.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. And I would allow you go, from here. Thank you and have a good
You
evening.
too.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So we've heard it all. The one of the very important things is rest. If you don't pick a day to rest, your body will pick a day that you would not be happy with. So please, let's rest. Let's use up all of the information we have heard. These all we have heard is not just for waste, is for us to utilize them. So that brings us to the end of Women's Health 101, what every woman needs to know. Thank you for joining us for this insightful conversation. Remember, your health is your foundation. Being informed is the first step to staying strong, balanced, thriving at every stage of life. Stay proactive, ask questions, and make your well being a priority. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Let's form that community of women who help one another. Like I say with my remote workers, on Thursdays we go for a walk. I'm not going to be begging anyone to go for a walk. Remember, 5,000 steps a day helps you, keeps the doctors away. 5,000 steps a day keeps the doctors away. So please do whatever it takes. Join that community, join that support group, and let your health be your priority. Be proactive. Thank you very much. And this is where I draw the curtain to say, have a good evening and bye-bye.
Have you subscribed to my Welcome to Dr. Bummy Able TV, where we inspire and inform you endlessly, with knowledge to guide, uplift, and grow. Thank you for joining, it's a journey, let's go. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. From wisdom to insight, each video's a gift, helping you rise, giving your spirit a lift. So hit that subscribe, stay tuned to see all the great things on Dr. Bummy Able TV. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game.